This is the Northern Mariana Islands, the most remote part of the United States that you've probably never heard of. More than 47,000 people call these islands home, redefining what it means to live in one of the most isolated places on Earth. Just beyond their shores lies the Mariana Trench, plunging to nearly 11,000 meters below sea level, the deepest place on the planet. Yet instead of marking the edge of human existence, these waters have sustained generations of islanders who have fished, navigated, and built their lives here for thousands of years. So, what is life really like on the edge of the deepest ocean on Earth? The Northern Mariana Islands lie isolated in the Pacific Ocean, within the Micronesian region of Oceania. Seen from above, the Northern Marianas appear as little more than a chain of anonymous dots surrounded by deep blue water stretching all the way to the horizon. Yet that seemingly remote position has turned this place into a rare cultural crossroads. It is both a territory of the United States and closer to Asia than any other part of America. Unlike countries built on one continuous landmass, the Northern Mariana Islands are made up of 14 islands stretching for more than 600 kilometers, like scattered fragments of a giant mountain range rising from the middle of the ocean. What makes them even more remarkable is that the entire island chain is actually made up of the exposed peaks of a massive underwater volcanic range, while most of its structure remains hidden deep beneath the sea. But among them, only 3 islands show signs of permanent human life: Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. The remaining 11 islands to the north have no permanent residents, where volcanoes still remain active beneath the surface and nature is entirely in control. Saipan is the dominant center, with around 43,000 residents living on a narrow strip of land. It contains more than 91% of the territory's population, along with the capital, Francisco C., other international airport, and most economic activity. In sharp contrast, Tinian has only around 2,000 residents, while Rota has nearly 1,900. These are places where life moves at its slowest, where cliffs and deserted coastlines still preserve the untouched beauty of the island's earliest beginnings. The Northern Mariana Islands sit within the warm waters of the Western Pacific, enjoying a tropical maritime climate with consistently warm temperatures and high humidity throughout the year. Rather than experiencing 4 distinct seasons, life here revolves around just 2. From December to June comes the dry season, when steady trade winds soften the tropical heat. It is also the time when the grotto reveals its most spectacular beauty, as shafts of sunlight pour through the cave's opening, illuminating the crystal-clear water like an enormous sapphire well beneath the earth. From July to October, however, the rainy season arrives, bringing powerful monsoon winds, torrential downpours, and some of the Pacific's most destructive typhoons, storms capable of reshaping entire islands in a single night. For the people who live here, this has always been the greatest challenge to simply remaining on these islands. Farther north, the landscape changes dramatically. Islands such as Anatahan, Pagan, and Agrihan are dominated by enormous volcanic craters, dark volcanic slopes, and ancient lava fields that still scar the land. While the southern islands are largely formed from limestone and coral reefs, many of the northern islands remain part of an active volcanic arc that has never truly fallen asleep. On the island of Rota, ancient forests preserve a world found almost nowhere else in the Mariana Islands. Among the dense canopy, the tiny Rota white-eye darts swiftly between branches, while the Mariana fruit bat hangs quietly high above the forest floor. Today, Rota remains the species' last major stronghold. The harshness of this environment extends beneath the sea as well. Coral reefs here grow directly upon dark volcanic basalt, creating ecosystems unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. It is precisely this extraordinary and fragile environment that led the United States to protect more than 246,000 square kilometers of ocean in 2009, creating the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument. Almost entirely hidden beneath the surface lies a world that still guards countless mysteries, from hydrothermal vents releasing superheated water to abyssal depths where human exploration remains exceedingly rare. The surprises continue even today. In March 2026, scientists from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration announced a discovery that captured worldwide attention near the submerged volcano of Maug. At the northern end of the archipelago, they identified a massive coral structure covering roughly 14,500 square feet, the largest ever documented for its kind, and one that may have survived for more than 2,000 years. What makes the discovery even more extraordinary is where it lives. The coral has flourished in waters naturally acidified by carbon dioxide leaking from the volcanic seabed, conditions where scientists once believed coral should struggle to survive. Above the surface lie sun-drenched tropical islands. Below them lives an organism that has quietly endured for 2 millennia, witnessing nearly the entire human history of these islands. That is the nature of the Mariana Islands, a place where life repeatedly finds a way to survive on the very edge of destruction. Every island in the Northern Mariana Islands carries a story of its own, yet they all share something remarkable. Wherever you go, it feels as though the past has never truly left. On Saipan, that contrast is most visible. Along the western coast are resorts, golf courses, marinas, and the lively streets of Garapan. But only a few minutes away, Banzai Cliff, Suicide Cliff, and American Memorial Park still quietly hold the memories of the Battle of Saipan in 1944, one of the bloodiest battles of the Pacific Theater. Beneath the clear blue waters offshore, the remains of tanks, landing craft, and aircraft from the Second World War are now covered in coral, becoming part of the marine world and some of the archipelago's most famous dive sites. Tinian. Today's peace makes the past seem even harder to believe. Its empty roads, wide grasslands, and runways covered in weeds were once Northfield, the largest airbase in the world during the Second World War. It was from here that the two B-29 bombers carrying atomic bombs took off for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, marking a turning point in human history. 80 years later, the roar of engines is gone. Only the sea wind moves across the abandoned runways and the cold, silent concrete structures left behind. On Rota, time seems to move far more slowly. The island still preserves its ancient forests, small coastal villages, and many traces of Chamorro life dating back thousands of years. The latte stones still stand among the green forest, reminding us that the history of the Northern Mariana Islands did not begin with war, but with a maritime civilization that had taken shape long before Europeans ever reached the Pacific. In the middle of the vast ocean, isolation has not made the people of the Northern Mariana Islands weaker. Here, family has never been limited only to those who share the same blood. The Chamorro call this Inafa Maulek, a way of life centered on harmony, respect, and mutual responsibility. Rather than placing individual interests first, they believe that a community can only remain strong when people know how to support and share with one another. After every typhoon, residents often volunteer to help neighbors rebuild roofs, clear fallen trees, or repair damaged boats. These actions are rarely seen as extraordinary acts of kindness, because to them, they are simply part of a person's responsibility to the community they live in. That spirit is also expressed through the tradition of Chenchu Lei. During weddings, funerals, birthdays, or major family events, relatives, friends, and neighbors bring food, contribute their labor, or provide financial support to help ease the burden on the host family. Within each household, elders do more than care for children and grandchildren. They also preserve the Chamorro language, ancestral stories, and traditional customs. Whenever they meet them, many younger people still practice nyengis, gently bowing and raising an elder's hand to their forehead or nose as a gesture of respect. In this remote corner of the Pacific, a single job is rarely enough to support a family. That is why the ocean remains the oldest and most dependable source of life for the people of the Northern Mariana Islands. Every day, fresh catches of tuna, mahi-mahi, and lobster are brought ashore. Some feed local families, while the rest supply markets across the islands. In Central Saipan, the economy takes on a very different character. Beachfront resorts, marinas, and world-class diving sites have made the island the tourism hub of the entire archipelago. Every time the roar of an international flight echoes across the runway, Saipan comes alive once again with the arrival of visitors from around the world. But only a few nautical miles away, life on Tinian and Rota slows to an entirely different pace. There, many families continue to cultivate small gardens, growing coconuts, bananas, and taro. The harvests may not be large, but they are enough to support a largely self-sufficient way of life, growing their own food, catching fish, and sharing meals with neighbors have long helped these communities reduce their dependence on the outside world. The value of that self-reliance becomes most apparent when bad weather arrives. Because of the island's isolation, nearly all essential goods and fuel must arrive by sea. A single typhoon capable of delaying supply ships can leave supermarket shelves empty within days, while prices rise almost immediately. Living on the edge of the Pacific means accepting that reality, preparing in advance, and making the most of everything the islands provide. As the sun rises over the Northern Mariana Islands, daily life begins in small roadside cafes and family kitchens. Unlike the fast pace of many modern cities, breakfast here is rarely rushed. People gather over a hot cup of coffee, simple plates of eggs, meat, ritzi, or bread before easing into the day ahead. By mid-morning, the local markets become increasingly lively, filled with vibrant colors and rich aromas: ripe bananas, papayas, fresh coconuts, taro, spice stalls, and the voices of vendors calling out to customers. But to truly understand the soul of these islands, you have to look at a traditional dining table, because within it, you can trace the entire history of the Northern Mariana Islands. There is kilaguen, a signature dish of meat or seafood mixed with fresh lemon juice, grated coconut, and chili, commonly prepared for family gatherings and celebrations. There is red rice, its distinctive color coming from achiote seeds, almost always served alongside meat grilled over charcoal. From apigigi, wrapped in banana leaves and roasted over a fire, to dishes influenced by Spain, the Philippines, and Japan, generations of cultural exchange continue to live together on a single table. During fiesta celebrations, long tables quickly fill with people. Every family brings a dish to share, and the food is passed freely from one person to another. No one worries about which family prepared which meal, because once the feast begins, everyone becomes part of the same community. Growing up in the Northern Mariana Islands is a unique experience. Children are raised through the modern lens of the United States, while their identities remain deeply rooted in small islands where tradition is still held in the highest regard. Every morning, school buses take them to classrooms where they study an American curriculum in English. But when the final bell rings, life immediately returns them to the ocean. Some children follow their fathers to the harbor. Others help their families tend coconut groves, while groups of young people surf together until the sun disappears completely below the horizon. In this isolated part of the world, traveling between Saipan, Tinian, and Rota on small propeller planes is part of everyday life. These flights are how people get to work, attend school, or receive medical care. Living here means accepting that a single shift in the wind can allow a storm to erase an entire schedule in an instant. As the world continues to change, many young people have left the islands in search of opportunities in Guam, Hawaii, or the continental United States. Yet another remarkable paradox has emerged. Many of them have chosen to return. They bring back the knowledge they gained beyond the islands and become doctors, engineers, and teachers on the land of their ancestors. Technology may allow the younger generation of the Mariana Islands to connect with the world in a single touch. But inside their homes, they still speak Chamorro and dance ancient dances by firelight. They are learning how to step into the wider world without ever forgetting the way back to the islands that raised them. To understand the people of the Northern Mariana Islands, you must first understand that this has never been a land shaped by continents. Thousands of years ago, long before maps, compasses, or modern ships existed, the ancestors of the Chamorro and Carolinian peoples crossed hundreds, even thousands, of kilometers of open ocean using nothing more than wooden canoes. The stars above them, the winds, and the currents of the sea. To them, the ocean was never a barrier separating islands. It was the first highway that connected people to their homeland. From an early age, the Chamorro mastered the construction of outrigger canoes, the iconic vessels fitted with stabilizing floats that became famous throughout the Pacific, fast and resilient. They were capable of carrying their crews on voyages lasting many days across the open ocean. They navigated by reading the rhythm of the waves, watching the flight paths of seabirds, observing the color of the water, and tracking the positions of the stars. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, groups of Carolinian voyagers from islands farther south also crossed the ocean to settle in the Northern Mariana Islands. They brought with them their own language, seafaring knowledge, and cultural traditions, joining the Chamorro to form a diverse yet closely connected community. After centuries of Spanish, German, Japanese, and American rule, these two communities have continued to preserve the core values that were established long before any colonial power ever reached these waters. In the Northern Mariana Islands, tradition has never existed only inside museums or during festivals staged for visitors. One of the most distinctive features of Chamorro and Carolinian society is its long-standing matrilineal tradition, family lineage, land inheritance, and many forms of family property are passed down through the mother's line, while the oldest woman in the family often plays a central role in major household decisions. However, a matrilineal society in the Northern Mariana Islands does not mean that women dominate men. Men and women share responsibilities in different ways. Men traditionally represent the family in community affairs, while women safeguard the land, family property, and the unity of the clan. It is this balance that has allowed Chamorro and Carolinian society to endure for centuries, even as the islands passed successively under Spanish, German, Japanese, and American rule. When the beat of ancient drums echoes across the village square, traditional Chamorro dances come to life once again. Through songs and folk melodies, elders recount the legendary ocean voyages of their ancestors to the younger generation. Alongside music, traditional crafts continue to preserve that cultural identity. Hand-woven mats and baskets made from coconut leaves, finely carved wooden artworks, and outrigger canoes are still crafted using techniques passed down through generations. Every piece carries with it a fragment of the community's memory. The greatest surviving testament to that civilization is the House of Taga on the island of Tinian, where towering latte stones nearly 5 meters high and weighing dozens of tons still stand today. Even now, archaeologists cannot say with certainty how the ancient Chamorro quarried, transported, and erected these enormous coral limestone pillars. Theories involving wooden levers, ropes, and coordinated human labor continue to be explored, making the House of Taga one of the most intriguing archaeological mysteries in the Mariana Islands. The Northern Mariana Islands lie directly along the path of many tropical storms and are also part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates continue to shift, causing periodic earthquakes and sustaining the active volcanic chain across the Northern Islands. Nature has given this region extraordinary beauty, but it has also placed its people before challenges that few other communities must face. In the early hours of July 6, 2026, that threat became reality once again when Super Typhoon Bavi swept directly across the Northern Mariana Islands. The eye of the storm passed over Rota with sustained winds of around 290 kilometers per hour, tearing roofs from homes, bringing down power poles and trees, and causing widespread disruption to electricity, water, and communications. Saipan and Tinian were also struck by violent wind gusts, heavy rain, and localized flooding, forcing numerous flights to be cancelled, schools to close, and everyday life to remain almost completely paralyzed for several days. Around 3 months earlier, another super typhoon named Sinlaku had also swept across Saipan and Tinian, leaving many families still waiting for electricity to be fully restored when they were forced to prepare for the next storm. Living on the edge of the ocean means accepting one harsh reality. Nature can redraw the face of an island in a single night, but no storm can erase the determination of its people. When the winds finally fall silent, life rises again from the ruins through enduring resilience. But storms are not the only challenge. Behind the calm appearance of this isolated territory are deep cracks in its dream of economic development. There was once a time when Saipan was expected to become the Las Vegas of the Pacific. Casinos, hotels, and real estate projects rose one after another, attracting major investment and thousands of foreign workers. But behind that rapid development, serious problems gradually began to surface. Some businesses were investigated for employing undocumented migrant workers, operating illegal recruitment networks, and violating labor regulations. At the same time, concerns over opaque financial activities also began to emerge, prompting United States law enforcement agencies to intervene. In 2019, after years of investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation charged several executives of the company operating Saipan's largest casino with a series of related offenses. That same year, federal agents also searched the offices of both the company and the local government while investigating allegations of bribery and illegal political contributions. After years of federal investigation, the mask of Saipan's largest casino corporation was finally removed, revealing a series of allegations involving bribery and unlawful personal gain. Then, in April 2024, that glittering dream officially collapsed with a bankruptcy filing and debts exceeding $165 million. Today, abandoned concrete buildings stand exposed along the coast. They are not only reminders of an economic scandal, but have also become shadows that shelter darker social problems. Geographic isolation and weaknesses in overseas governance have turned the islands into a potential transit point for transnational methamphetamine trafficking networks. The problem of ice, the local name for methamphetamine, is quietly damaging families and contributing to a troubling rise in theft and residential break-ins. Security pressure reached its peak when successive super typhoons struck in the middle of 2026. Taking advantage of residents being evacuated from damaged homes, theft surged dramatically, forcing the local government to call for urgent assistance from United States federal agencies such as the FBI and the DEA. For the people of the Northern Mariana Islands, this is a harsh lesson that development must always be accompanied by transparency. In an isolated place in the middle of the ocean, they must not only heal the wounds left by devastating natural disasters, but also remain resilient in protecting their peace from fractures emerging within their own society. So why, despite all the storms of nature and the fractures within society, do the people here still choose to stay?
Hi, good morning. This is Christy. Sagasiro again at
For residents of the Northern Mariana Islands, leaving means permanently severing the network of family and community that has supported them since birth. This is a place where grandparents, aunts, uncles, and neighbors all help raise a child, care for an elder, and appear at your doorstep the moment hardship arrives. In the cities of the mainland, they may earn more money, but they may never find again the quiet sense of belonging that comes from being surrounded by their own people. This land also carries the sacred memories of generations, from the path leading to the house where their parents grew up to the beach where the whole family once went fishing together as children. For the Chamorro and Carolinian peoples, staying is also a responsibility to keep their ancient languages, their compass-free navigation skills, and their legendary crafts alive. Because those traditions can only truly endure while human life remains connected to the homeland that created them. On a world map, this place may appear as nothing more than an anonymous dot in the vast ocean. But to those who grew up with the sound of the waves, it is where their entire universe begins. The Northern Mariana Islands are far more than simply an overseas territory of the United States. They are a place where underwater volcanoes still rise proudly from the waters above the deepest part of the planet. A place where the scars of the Second World War rest quietly beside sunlit beaches. And a place where the identities of the Chamorro and Carolinian peoples continue to live on through their language, their dances, and the rhythms of everyday life. In this remote corner of the Pacific, the value of life is not measured by the height of skyscrapers or the relentless pace of urban growth. It is measured by sails leaving the harbor before sunrise, by the warmth of family members gathered around the same table, by the sound of drums echoing through festival celebrations, and by an entire community coming together to rebuild homes after the storm has passed. Some people have left the islands to explore the wider world, while others have chosen to return, because to them, this chain of islands on the edge of the abyss is more than simply the place where they were born. It is home, the place where their hearts will always belong.